Welcome to my channel. Tonight, I'm going to share with you a spooky tale about a young woman named Anna, who lives above a funeral home. One day she hears the unsettling sound of footsteps above her head and discovers a horrifying secret. But before I begin, make sure you've subscribed. Now turn on the lights, snuggle under your blankets, and listen closely to the tale of the funeral home above. In a city filled with grand buildings, there was a quaint, three-story structure. On the ground floor was a busy antique shop filled with dusty relics and forgotten treasures. But the true story of this building unfolded afterward, when it transformed into something sinister. For on the second and third floors resided a funeral home shrouded in secrecy and sorrow. No one knew who owned it or why it seemed to operate only at night. The townspeople whispered rumors, their imaginations painting haunting images in the gloom. But the truth was far more chilling than any rumor. Anna, a spirited young woman with dreams as big as the city sky, chose the top floor as her home, eager to escape the city noise. She yearned for a peaceful retreat, not realizing the grim history of the place she was renting. As days turned into weeks, a strange routine emerged. Each night around midnight, Anna would hear the distinct sound of footsteps pacing back and forth directly above her head. Heavy measured steps that echoed through the silent night, seeming to come from the ghosts of the departed. Fear gnawed at her, whispering tales of restless spirits seeking solace or revenge. Yet Anna, ever the pragmatist, refused to let fear conquer her. She reasoned that old buildings creaked and settled, that the footsteps were likely just mice scampering in the walls. Still, as the nights wore on, the footsteps continued, relentless and unwavering. One night, driven by an unbearable curiosity, Anna decided to investigate. Armed with a flashlight and determination, she climbed the creaky stairs to the third floor, where the footsteps had seemed to originate. The air grew colder as she neared the source of the nightly disturbance, and a musky odor of decay hung heavy in the air. There, in the dimly lit room, she saw an old metal casket tucked away in a dark corner, covered with a faded velvet cloth. The sight sent shivers down her spine. What was this coffin doing here? Who had brought it to this desolate place? And why did it appear every night as the clock struck 12? Summoning her courage, Anna slowly approached the coffin. As she moved, a sudden draft extinguished her flashlight, plunging her into absolute darkness. In that moment, her fear reached its peak, and she could do nothing but scream. Then, as suddenly as it started, the commotion above her ceased. Anna stood frozen, listening intently. When silence descended, she slowly regained her composure and fumbled for her phone, its dim light revealing the truth. The coffin was old, very old, its surface worn smooth by countless years. And as Anna stared, she noticed a name etched into its side, barely visible in the gloom. Taking a deep breath, she turned the phone's light directly onto the inscription. The name was hers. Beneath it was another name, a date. It was her great-great-grandmother's name and the date of her disappearance. Had her ancestor been buried in this very place? Why? And what was she doing in a coffin, hundreds of years too early? Overwhelmed with a sudden sense of foreboding, Anna fled the room, stumbling down the stairs and back to her apartment. The footsteps continued every night. They became a haunting reminder of the secrets buried within the walls of her home. Who was she? Why was she trapped there? And what did her presence mean for Anna? These questions echoed in Anna's mind, refusing to let her rest. Determined to uncover the truth, she delved into her family's history, searching for answers in old documents and faded photographs. As she pieced together the fragments of her great-great-grandmother's life, she uncovered a shocking secret. The antique shop below Anna's apartment had once been the site of a brutal murder. Her great-great-grandmother, a wealthy socialite, had met her demise in that very spot. But her killer had been caught and brought to justice, or so everyone believed. Anna's blood ran cold as she realized the full horror of her situation. She was living in the same apartment as her ancestor had, haunted by the ghost of her great-great-grandmother, who sought to reveal the truth behind her untimely death. With renewed determination, Anna vowed to help her ancestor find peace, even if it meant facing the darkness that lurked within the walls of her home. And that's the end of our spooky tale. If you enjoyed this terrifying tale, please don't forget to subscribe. Also, send us your scary experiences at eerietales88@gmail.com. And we might feature yours or someone else's story in our series. Thanks for watching and stay safe until next time.